An emerging crisis leading to a choice no parent should ever have to make. To get your child help, you need to give your child up. Good evening, I'm John Bull. Myron Sari is off tonight. Our latest troubleshooter investigation reveals there are parents right now in Kentucky being told they have to relinquish their parental rights in order to get the care their children with severe health conditions need. If you find that hard to fathom, I did too. But here's what I found after a parent came to me in a crisis.
Come on, Andrea.
The happiest day of their lives unfolded in a couple of seconds.
That's so good. Because we were told from birth that Andrew would never walk, that he would never stand on his own, he would never do anything but, years and years and years of torturous, physical therapy and occupational therapy and muscle training and strength training. Like, he walked, and that was a beautiful moment for us because we were actually able to see, hey, there is hope for him.
The lowest point happened years later when a Louisville doctor stepped out in the hall and made a call to an out-of-state facility.
And I'm quoting him at this point. It's like, we have a Tasmanian devil on our hands and we're not equipped to handle the situation. Can we please send a referral?
Jeremy Hayden's son, Andrew, isn't the Tasmanian devil. He has a myriad of severe health conditions after a stroke at birth.
He's autistic, he's nonverbal, he has cerebral palsy.
After Andrew was born, Jeremy's mother quit her job to help care for him. His wife and grandparents are on the support team too.
This bed enables us to kind of put him in, zip him up in it, to where he can't get out and hurt himself. That's kind of a two-way system to where I can see him, I can hear him, I can watch him, I can also communicate with him, because one thing that he does not want is other people in here with him.
But Andrew isn't in his room anymore.
Things are going downhill for us, and we're consistently reaching out, asking for help that we're just not able to get.
From Medicaid to waivers, Andrew has been approved for every kind of specialty care you can get in Kentucky, but they can't get any specialty care in Kentucky. So Andrew is at Cincinnati Children's Hospital now.
He has approvals for everything, but we're not able to access any of that resources because it needs to be contracted to a third-party company, and these third-party companies either say they can't support Andrew's needs because of the behavioral challenges that he has, or they don't have anybody. They blame it on staffing. They blame it on the pay, that the amount of money that Medicaid will pay hourly rate wise, that no one will do it for that amount of money.
He desperately reached out to everyone he could think of, all the way up to the governor's office, and got a call back from the Autism Council.
He told me that Kentucky is a very under-resourced state for caring for children with special needs. And he said that it's not uncommon for parents to have to sign their children over to the state, put them in the state's care in order to get them the care that they need.
So the answer to your inquiries was you need to sign your child over to the state?
Correct.
Do you view that as outrageous, or do you actually consider it?
No, for a split second, I have considered it. I have considered it just because it's my only option at this point. Because Andrew needs the help and I can't provide it. Then I start doing research and I start connecting with different organizations and talking to other parents, and I find that this is a very common thing for families in Kentucky, that they oftentimes have to sign their children over and put them into state's care in order to get help.
That sounds unbelievable. I've covered child welfare issues for decades in Kentucky and never heard of having to sign over your parental rights to get the help you need. So I ran this case by Kentucky Youth Advocates, and they tell me they're working other cases just like this one right now.
The level of need has increased, the level of services has decreased, and you put those two things together, and what we're approaching is this emerging crisis. That is a decision that no mom or dad or grandma or grandpa should ever have to make. You should never have to relinquish your kid to help your kid as long as you're doing the right thing.
That's the perplexing paradox here. Bad parents who lose their children to the state get their kids' needs met, but good parents going through the proper protocol can't get the help they need.
So in many ways, you're being punished for doing the right thing. The irony in the case you're talking about is, had there been maltreatment or abuse or neglect, he would have already perhaps lost custody. So again, it's as if that family is being punished for trying to deliver for that little boy.
A few days after this interview, Dr. Terry Brooks, who was already scheduled to testify before the state's Child Welfare Committee, brought up the issue.
We're looking right now at 3 parallel cases for 3 members of the General Assembly. And there's also a Louisville media outlet that's looking at a 4th case, and they're all identical. For some reason, what those parents face is to get the medical help they need, the only achievable way to do that is to give up custody.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Hayden and members of his family have been making several trips per week for months to Cincinnati Children's Hospital to see Andrew.
We've been advised to think about moving to another state, moving to Ohio, moving to Indiana, because those states are very well resourced for special needs children. We've lost all hope. We've lost all hope. We've lost all faith.
So I reached out to the Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Family Services a week ago for comment on this dilemma, and I have not received any answers. We'll keep following the story.